Bugaboo. Alright, so today is going to be starting off with some save scumming. So, yeah. I guess I'm going to get to that and...
Behind the pipe, the maintenance door, rusted shut and half sunken in sand.
And as soon as I'm done with that, we're going to see some stuff. And so I guess, here we go.
The pipe. The metal doors are heavy and the flaking rust hurts your palms. But together with the lieutenant, you manage to slide them open just enough to squeeze in.
Okay, that was like 3 tries. Maybe 4. For today, that is.
Good work. Shall we?
Okay, well, I was gonna get into the groove of saying that I feel like obviously this is not the first time that I've done this, but I feel like this game has kind of forced me into this. Maybe not literally, but in a sense of I don't know what I'm doing or how I'm supposed to progress. I'm just kind of thinking to myself, how am I going to move forward without doing this? The thing is I've already been in a position where I've gone basically everywhere, did basically everything, and I couldn't find the next clue. But I remember that the next clue was the key on the window, and I didn't revisit the window. But that's such a tiny detail, especially a room that I only visit basically once, and just have to remember that. It's yeah, just rough times. I didn't realize this going somewhere, but that's the symbol that was on my mouse, so I should have known. And I'm not ready to leave where I was yet.
This isn't just glass. These are old computation components.
These are computer components?
Yes, filament memories. From the time when wires were cast in glass, slides with an inlaid nervous system.
Okay, great. Sneaky sneaky. Mazovian socioeconomics.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. The plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait.
That Mazov guy, this must have been the hiding place of some native leftists.
Some radical or radicals were hiding out here. They left a long time ago.
Someone have stopped through here recently.
You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
He looks at the dust. Okay.
Could this have been the killer's hideout? And this narrow window, the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary?
Peek out.
Outside the window, the day is clear and as mild as can be in early spring.
Could the killer have used this as a hideout?
It's a great place to hide, and Masovianism and murder are certainly not mutually exclusive. But there hasn't been anyone here in ages.
I can't see the whirling in rags. The shot didn't come from here.
Indeed. No one could get a clear view. Well, at least we've been thorough. I like thorough. In fact, I think we're done with this bunker. After you, officer.
Island for bulletry. One than the other. Apadaps.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
Lieutenant, do you feel something?
No. What do you mean?
A pain, a strange tingling.
I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh.
Saw them too, footprints with the right sole worn smooth.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully.
What do you mean?
Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
How bad do you think things could get?
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
He smiles in the dark.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
We've met the Union leader, but haven't gotten any info from him. Maybe we should talk to him more first?
You're right. However corrupt he may be, nothing happens in Martinez without him knowing. We might have to dirty our hands, but
In this case, we can't afford to be squeaky clean.
How about all that? We know what Joyce knows about the murder, but I may have other things to discuss with her.
Yes, there won't be time for that once things go down. Matter of fact, I don't think there's time for it now, but
If you must.
What do you think is waiting for us in there?
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise. Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
No turning back. Let's do a new save.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once. But her words are the only ones you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now, Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse.
Says the shadowy figure by the machine.
Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
As she says the word officer, you feel a spike in the agony. It sounds like the entire radio frequency range is screaming directly into your neural pathways.
Okay then.
That's an awful decision. Why would you not want to shield yourself from it? It's an entirely new type of experience. Way worse than all the previous ones.
Are you gonna kill me too?
No, I'm not going to fucking kill you. If that had been my plan, you'd be dead already. All things considered, I'm being pretty reasonable here. I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field. A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it.
Yeah, I didn't need to hear any of that. So I just moved on with my life.
Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Gestures towards something with great effort.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She's been holed up in here for a while with no one to talk to. Keep her talking, and you just might get an opportunity to break loose.
Hey, Saki Noir. I found Ruby, yep. So it seems. It also seems like I fell into her trap. How did you get your hands on this thing?
I built it myself.
She nods toward her torture device.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah, way beyond.
She studies her death ray and the law officials trapped in it. What's this gosh darn pale anyway?
The pale? It's the end of the world.
Will I stay like this forever?
No. Once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream.
Have you experienced this compressor yourself?
Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through.
It's all great, but let's talk about the man who was killed.
Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about it.
So she thinks of you as hunters, not cops, and of herself merely as prey.
Please, could you turn it down so I can ask you something?
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
Turn this.
The lieutenant clutches his head, grimacing.
God damn it.
He regards you and Kim with sudden sympathy.
Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
He steps reluctantly out of the shadows. The pain lessens.
She's carrying a 2-barreled front loader. Remain careful. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. Just keep her talking, and you'll get through this. There's only 3 meters between you and the machine. If you keep her distracted for long enough, maybe be careful when you make your move. That'll be it for questions. Bide your time.
Apparently I have the tool equipped, or a tool equipped, I suppose. I need a 10 out of 3. I need a 7, a 4, and a 3. I don't like my odds. How did you know we were coming?
I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while.
By hiding bullets under floorboards?
So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised.
Her tone is bitter. She thinks she's been betrayed.
She didn't rat you out, by the way, the washerwoman.
So nice. That's one knife I didn't want to find in my back.
As opposed to the other knives she's finding there now. Hardy for one.
Preparing for the worst?
I was. Before I caught you in the pale latitude compressor. I'm fine now.
That's her admitting the bullet was an emergency exit.
Did you shoot Lely?
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first.
This is a tough decision. But I'll help Class A out just this once. When I threatened to arrest her, Class A broke. She told me everything.
Oh. Well, I guess I always knew she was a survivor above all else. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me?
I don't have any allegiance to Titus. Titus told me. It took some convincing.
Oh, fuck. Took some convincing my ass. And those guys liked me, I know it. This is what happens to people whom people like. How the fuck do the rest of you get by?
Wait, wasn't it you who called me the human can opener? It's not personal. I opened them up.
I did, didn't I? Now you've come for me. Fuck them all the same.
That did make her forgive them. A little.
I do it by asking questions. I have some for you.
Like what? I already told you I didn't do it.
A strong moral compass. She still wants the opportunity to make a case for herself.
Would you say that Lely was a likable person?
I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types.
There's nothing more personal that you had against him? Perhaps his way with women?
You think I was envious of his conquests? Look, pussy's not a problem for me. And definitely not a reason to off someone.
See her confident gaze, her toned arms. Yeah, she wouldn't have had much trouble in the intimacy department.
Did you feel protective of the Union?
Yeah, sure. And I didn't like Wild Pines sending in those foreign hirelings. Me and a fuck ton of other people around here.
I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, but I don't think she's perjuring herself. She didn't hate him, okay?
You don't feel sympathy for mercs. It's hard work.
Plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of body count. Besides, they're paid well for what they do.
I have other questions.
I'm listening.
Do you have an alibi for when Lily was shot?
Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon you.
There was 10 minutes they couldn't account for.
You mean the length of a toilet break? That wouldn't even have been enough time.
Oh man, I goofed right there. Dang. Our investigation has shown that 15 minutes was just enough time to commit the murder.
Wow. Now I'm curious. Please, explain.
Play pinball much?
No. Not since I was 14 and hanging out in the only diner in Dardun. Haven't been into low-risk, no-reward games since moving to the city. Why?
There are some mysterious pinball machines in some pretty mysterious rooms in the Whirling.
Yeah, and probably some ghosts from the time of the suzerain. I'm not really interested in supernatural mysteries.
But elevators. You like elevators?
The fuck do elevators have to do with anything?
Do you or don't you?
Not particularly.
Why not?
Why are you so hung up on elevators?
That's a pretty good question, actually. She clearly doesn't know anything about the secret passage.
I think we might have gotten a little off topic.
And that topic was what? Staircases? Ladders?
Look, there's a secret way from the ground floor of the Whirling to the roof.
Don't know it. But also,
You frown, studying your face.
the shot couldn't have come from the roof. Or we would have all heard it downstairs.
She has a point there. No one mentioned.
Pain stops him from finishing the sentence.
That didn't go super well. You've got to lay something better on her.
Yeah, I figured this was the case, but I couldn't figure out how to get to the island. So, like, what am I supposed to do? Suck a food. Let's take a step back.
Yeah? Where?
More questions before doing anything.
Who killed the merc if it wasn't you?
How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful gossip over the radio.
Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez.
Police radio? You've been following the case?
Who hasn't? I can still see him there, in Claus's room, lying on his side. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long while.
What happened Sunday night? Tell me your version.
She eyes you warily, as though gauging your sincerity.
It's okay. We just want to...
He struggles to finish the sentence.
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then Klasia comes in, all pale and shuddering. She sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves. So I grab a seat next to her.
Did she seem high to you?
Oh yeah, super. But I didn't think too much of it at first. I'd seen her party hard before.
Bosse said you knew something was wrong immediately.
No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her. But no such luck. She was in some deep shit. She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved, so yeah.
You made it look like he'd been hanged.
Bosse found it weird you came up with a plan so quickly.
What? No. Faking a lynching was her idea.
Her idea.
Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me how quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once we got up there. It was like she was another person. The party girl was gone. She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head around his neck to fake lividity. Then she dressed him while I went to get the Hardy Boys.
She lied to you about that, too.
Showerhead, resourceful.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed.
Do you think she killed Lely herself?
As I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear anything downstairs. No gunshot, nothing.
But even if this is true, weren't you worried this lynching might lead to...
War? The thought crossed my mind. But the mercenary's death was going to have repercussions either way. Although the way things are going...
She doesn't want to talk about this, but not because she has something to hide. She doesn't want the guilt.
Kind of wish they would tone down the static noise in the background. Like, it's not crazy or anything like that, but it's distracting, and I don't need to hear it to continue this conversation. I'd rather just have silence or ambient noise, you know?
Fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me.
You didn't kill him, why hide?
I saw you roll into town. I wasn't about to stick around for questioning by a goddamn La Puta Madre agent.
What do you mean by that?
Yes, you. Everyone says you're his peon, his human can opener.
Through the sudden sharp pain in your head, you hear the lieutenant mumble something to himself. Fucking hell. And why me? You hear through the white noise. It's especially bad suddenly. Felt like a vein exploded.
Who's everyone? How do you know this?
Everyone in Jamrock. The cops, the criminals. Why do you think I'm holed up in here with a goddamn death ray waiting for you?
If she knows that about you, she must know your real name too.
How do you know my real name? I'm no one's agent. I don't even know who that is.
Right. Sure. You don't know.
I'm sure I'm supposed to know, but I lost my memory recently.
Yeah, sure.
She doesn't believe you.
I'm sure La Puta Madre himself will explain it all to you soon enough.
What did you do to this Madre, anyway?
You know what I did. I fucked him over. And now I have Harry Can Opener in my lair. Fucking Titus.
She's not going to change her mind that easily. She still perceives you as a threat. Wait, one thing, possibly small, but she said you rolled into town. Was that you singular or plural? She might know something.
When I came into town, was there anyone with me?
Yeah, you had your death squad with you. What happened to them anyway?
I don't know what happened. Who was in this squad?
Well, it wasn't this scrawny dude. You had two guys and a lady. The guys looked pretty buff. Lady wasn't bad either.
What else can you tell me?
One of the guys seemed chipper, a blonde. The other had a brooding something or other about him. And the woman was the only one in uniform. all we're carrying.
I remember seeing the blonde guy. I remember seeing the woman, all at the whirling in rags. I guess we're missing one person.
That sound about right?
No idea who these people are, literally. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer looks out of the window grimly, then puts his coffee down and turns to Patrol Officer Minot. We could either take a room here in the whirling or go home for today. Let's go home, Jean. Nothing's going to happen today, she responds quietly. Jean takes his blonde wig off. Call Heidelstein. He can give us a ride.
I think I know them. They're in Martinez.
Fantastic. I've got to get on the road. Then you can go find your friends. Unless you have anything pressing to ask me.
Do you know about the bunker next door?
What bunker?
Communist hideout back there.
Don't know anything about it. No one's been around since I set up camp. But I'm sure I'm not the first vagabond to...
Her voice trails off into the white noise in your head. Feels like an aneurysm approaching. She has a gun. I'm gonna get shot. What do I want to do? Fine. What does that say? A 4 and a 3? We're creeping up real slow.
You did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It still hurts like hell, but...
You okay, Kim?
All good, officer. Be careful.
She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles.
Oh, fuck it.
Hey, rhetoric. Hey. 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 Convince her to put the gun down. The only way I fail this is by rolling 2 ones.
She's truly desperate. She thinks she has no other options. You need to give her options.
What options?
You know.
Ah. Maybe I can still talk her out of it?
This is how you talk her out of it. It's the only scenario in which she lives.
Please. Just walk away.
She stares at you, frozen, the gun still in her mouth, eyes filled with dark intensity. Then something shifts in her. Gratitude, doubt. She's still ready to go.
Just go, okay, before I change my mind.
She runs past you, then past the lieutenant, and disappears into the darkness of the tunnel.
Good call.
Thanks.
I would have done the same, had I not been incapacitated.
Think she didn't do it.
Her tent. We should check it out.
Alright. Not a giga bad ending, maybe. Porridge with bananas.
The plain red tent stands by dispassionately.
Inside.
The tent looks old, but well maintained. In the darkness of the tent, a rolled-up sleeping bag, cooking utensils, some books, and a kerosene lamp. It reeks of cigarettes.
Okay, shine the flashlight.
Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines.
See anything?
Sift through the magazines.
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazines doesn't have images on the cover. It's not a magazine. It's a leather notebook.
A notebook.
You pocket the worn brown leather journal. A trusted friend left behind.
We should read this immediately, like right now.
Oh, I actually do have this in my hand now. Interesting. I'm gonna quick save first before I do that.
A thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it around in their back pocket.
Examine the cover.
It's made of full-grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name, Schneller. Schneller is a stationery brand from Gottwald, beloved among architects and engineers. She's got good taste and must have taken whatever she recorded here seriously.
Unwind the strap.
The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled.
Study the handwriting.
The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently. Perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and in the margins.
Flip through the pages.
It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
It's good she left in a hurry. We could learn a lot from this.
What kind of logistics?
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes. I can give this to her after we finish this.
What are the diagrams of?
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density. You make out a familiar spiral shape.
Anything personal?
Short, wry observations of people and places. Probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them.
How far back do the entries go?
The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable.
What did she write the day Lely died?
Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. But that's another matter entirely. She is referring to betraying her previous employer. Does this suggest she did it in self-defense?
Anything about La Madre?
That name isn't mentioned as far as you can tell. Small wonder. Would you talk about La Puta Madre in your journal? You do see an M, though. La Puta Madre. M is mentioned on March 9th and March 15th.
All right, March 9th.
Great. M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching. But also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over my shoulder. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call? Were you supposed to find her, even apart from the investigation then? On M's request? No, you wouldn't do something like this. This must be a mistake.
This is a coincidence. I would never kill people for a mob boss.
The thought steadies your nerves. The journal stops shaking in your hand.
12th?
Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys, for example. But experience tells me, did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures first of all. Gotta make a living, right? I can still hear his voice in the receiver. Taste the plastic. The entry ends abruptly. That must have been one hell of a conversation.
What's the most recent entry?
The most recent entry is from today. It reads, even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning.
It looks like she might have been framed.
The lieutenant taps on the page.
That would be a first, or a fourth. But who's counting, he thinks. Very rarely does anyone actually get framed.
She didn't do it. Maybe it's good that we didn't catch her.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that. We have other reasons to arrest her.
He frowns.
Besides, I'm not sure her life as a fugitive is going to be much better than with us.
Am I
Especially if she has problems with the Madre.
My bad. Am I really an agent?
No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure.
Who is that?
The head of a major Jamrock gang, specializing in drug production and trafficking. A very bad person.
He's not 100% sure you're not indebted to this very, very bad person.
Then who do you think killed the Merc?
Classier was the one who pointed the finger at Ruby. Perhaps she was trying to steer us away from herself, or
No one heard the shot.
maybe she had an accomplice. Either way, we need to keep an eye on her. One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling and rags. Questions to ask. We should get to it.
How do I get to the island?
The plain red tent.
How do I get to the island? Okay. A little bit of a plot twist going on there. Still need to figure out how to get to the island. When is low tide and high tide? That might assist me. And I'm not doing the Evrart favor. Definitely not doing that.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while.
I want to do that check, but it's a red check. And I need a double 6. Means it's never going to happen. I'm out all the way here to see if I can see anything. Yeah, this is like that little radio tower. Definitely don't know how one is supposed to get over there. Oh, is that a boat? Maybe I can steal that boat. What are you doing here?
I'll just keep the Corda Lacey in the channel, if that's okay. It's too shallow near the pier. Hi, ma'am. And it's a jetty, by the way. Of course. Jetty. I prefer a good jetty to a pier any day. Jetty.
Something about the way she says it makes you want to sing.
No. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, detectives.
She fastens the end of the line around the post and straightens her back.
It's good to see you here. I only just arrived myself.
What brings you here, madame?
Nothing, really. I've had my eye on this jetty for weeks now, so I decided to investigate it personally. This cluster of buildings isn't on any of the official maps, as far as I can tell.
That. And she's also keeping an eye on you.
Have you been spying on us?
Spying has such a negative connotation. I did track your progress along the coast, however, and decided I would be better able to assist you from here. Then there's the matter of that little scamp in old lady clothes. She threatened to paint the Corda Lacey red. Like blood, you see. Well, I like it the way it is. White.
How do you like it here?
How do I like it?
She casts her gaze toward the village, slush melting in the cinder blocks construction work left half-finished 10 years ago.
Water drips down eaves of Eternite. The jetty below her feet creaks to the tune. The smell of salt and dog shit in the background.
It's pornographically poor. The street has no name, all the men are dead or missing. And is that the carcass of a motor carriage over there?
She squints her eyes.
I'm surprised that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet. Maybe she will. You should ask your questions while you can.
Dark eyes survey the coast leading up to Martinez. Dull grey metal rests in her scabbard. A sword. The wind is too loud for her to hear.
Fortunately for you, madame, the RCM is on the scene.
All right. Politics time. Let's react.
You're right to be scared. This is all your fault.
Maybe.
She leans against the railing, looking up at the gray sky.
Above you, there forms a quilt of altocumulus clouds, twisting into each other. The wind tugs and stretches them over the bay.
Apparently an easy success is a 9.
Their cloud shadows slide over the ruins of Revachol West. Wherever they pass, the temperature drops slightly, but perceptibly.
Have I told you how they discovered this place?
This island?
No, the Insulindian Isla.
No, you haven't.
Well, your condition has left you no worse off than most of these people. The literacy rate is around 45% west of the river. 50 years of occupation have left these people in an oblivion of poverty. It's a pity. Most of these people will never know what this place means, this island of matter, or why they were ferried over in the first place. Remind me to tell you one day. For now, how can I assist you in this new location?
Tell me something else then.
Of course. I hear you have singled out a suspect and are in pursuit. This is cause for cautious optimism.
Oh?
Well, technically speaking, I'm not on it right now. Good.
Maybe I can steal her boat at nighttime. But I don't know how to use a boat. Why won't they let me ask her about it? You have a boat?
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down. Simmer down, bastards.
Looking for someone else?
Oh? Who? Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
And I don't want to... I need a boat. Who's got the boat? Doesn't look like I'm getting a boat.
Stop. Just up ahead. Danger. What you have isn't enough. You'll need more firepower. A ranged weapon. Your Kvalzun KR2 multi-tool looks impressive, shining in the cold spring light. But what can it do against military-grade weaponry?
Not sure I feel ready for what lies ahead.
Then you'd better get ready. Whatever happens, I've got your back.
Well, I definitely don't have a gun.